no God, no others. And it was not a 45-minute lesson each Sunday. It just wasn't. So, and some of you know we've talked about this. So what I did is I just do a little recap of them, and then I move on to my own lesson. And we're studying the words of Jesus, and we're in Matthew chapter 5. And so I do this mini lesson. We'll go right into it. That way I didn't go against what the church wanted us to teach on Sunday. Now, January the 26th through March the 2nd, I had requested that you text me or email lesson topics that you would like for me to teach during these 6 Sundays. And I've received several responses. So if you don't know, is those 6 Sundays, the church has got some topics on there that we've already covered when we did the Beatitudes. So we needed 6 lessons. Now, once we get past the 6 lessons, we'll go into a study in the book of John along with the rest of the church. But for these 6 lessons, if you remember, I gave you some possibilities of some subjects that you might be interested in me teaching. I have 5 lessons on Israel from the beginning with Abraham up to now. That used to be 5 Sundays. I think I can condense it down to 3. God's special birds, doves, body, soul, and spirit, we did a year and a half ago. All hymns, volume 2, heaven, synagogues, Antichrist, we did that about a year ago. And some said they're interested. And I have one that we did, how do you worship a God you cannot see? So here's the results. Here's what I've got so far. I have 5 people that said they want the lessons on Israel. I have 4 that said they want lessons on the Antichrist. And I have 2 that said they want lessons on heaven. So if you haven't sent me one this week, go ahead and send me a text or an email and say, I'd like you to teach on this or this. And if it's one of these, let me know that. So I'll put those in order, whoever's got the most votes on there. And that's what we will teach. And we have this Sunday, next Sunday, and then we begin the 6th. Questions on that? Everybody okay?
I would like the Israel part of it. If you've been paying any attention, right now Israel is getting blamed for killing children. And
don't teach my lesson for me, okay? Just show up, will you? And be quiet. I'll teach you.
Okay.
You're absolutely right. Sandra recommended this. Anybody recognize the voice? Sandy Patty. But I had to go get one that had the words. Look at the words. Unbelievable.
There'll be an everlasting light shining up yours totally white, and everything will be erased, but it must be another place. Oh,
Another time and another place. There will be. But there will be some people that won't be in the same place you and I are going to be. I did my brother's funeral right after Christmas. He's a Christian. I know I'll see him again. He's a believer. But his wife and his wife is not. I don't know about the two daughters. I don't think so. It makes it hard to think that we're so happy. We would love for the rapture to come. Well, I'm ready. I don't know about you. The world's getting kind of bad out there. But there's some people that aren't there. I said I hoped I never did a funeral for somebody that was a non-Christian. Well, that's as close as I got. The wife of the deceased, a non-Christian. And it bears on me. I tailored the message that it might help. And I may never see the results. There may be good results, there may be none. I don't know. I'll never get to see it. But I think about a song like this, and Sandra, thank you for sending that. I'd never seen that song before. I love the words. Another time and another place. We will be there. Who do you want to see first when you get to heaven?
My mama.
Your mama. Okay. Somebody else. Come on.
Jesus.
Jesus, for sure.
Jesus? Yeah. I'm afraid Jesus said, you made it?
My mama would be
Who do you
proud
want to
that
see, Aunt?
Jesus.
Jesus, yeah.
Well, my mama would be proud that I made it.
Well,
Yes, yes.
that's okay, though. There's a lot of proud mamas and dads up there.
No, she used to preach to me all the time, and I finally.
Okay.
Hey, Wallace, you know, I was thinking about if a person really did set all those fires in California, and
Yeah.
think of all, well, people died, a lot of animals died and burned, but if he's not a Christian, he'll be burning in hell forever,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly.
And you think, what is he gonna think then? If that's,
The trouble is, we can't get people to think about that before death.
I know.
And then there's death, and it's like Jesus told the story of the beggar named Lazarus and the rich man. And when they both died, and Lazarus, he's up there with Abraham in paradise, and here's the rich man down here in Hades, and he said, it's hot, have Lazarus put the tip of his finger in some water and come touch my tongue because I'm burning up here. It's too late once you're there. You got to know before you go, and that burns on me sometimes that there's so many people, they don't have a clue. They don't know, but when they know, it's too late. It's going to be too late.
Well, count the number of Muslims around.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're all in the pickle and don't know it.
Yeah. There's a lot. Okay, we're going to move on. What does it mean to be known by others? Just how do others know us? How do others see us? What do others think about us? And mainly, what do they say about us behind our back? Oh, we probably don't want to know. We often put labels on people based on how they act, what they say, and what they look like, or even their personality. We put labels on people. We do. I'm going to give you a name of a person, and I'm going to want you to give me a label. Excuse me. I'm going to get a cough drop. I want you to give me a label for this person. I hope I brought my cough drops. I only brought one. When I put the name up there, okay, raise your hand so I can hear everybody's labels. Y'all ready? I made two groups of them. In group one, what comes to mind when you see the name Abraham Lincoln? Raise your hand.
Honesty.
Honesty. This is a good one. Okay, somebody else. What do you think of when you see Abraham? Jen.
That he was for the black people.
Yeah, the Emancipation Proclamation. Yeah. big words, but he was for the black people. Yeah. Anybody else? I think about the Lincoln Memorial that's in Washington D.C. I think about a penny. It's a Lincoln head penny. I mean, people have different things. Some of you have visions in your mind. You just wouldn't raise your hand and tell me. So let's get another one.
All I see is a cherry tree.
Huh?
A cherry tree.
A cherry tree.
Yeah, cherry.
Oh, well,
Yeah, we cut down a cherry tree, didn't
yeah.
Washington.
he? Oh, it's Washington, okay.
I wasn't gonna tell him.
I'm not gonna answer
Oh,
that one.
What about Elvis Presley? You got a good one for Elvis Presley,
He's
Paul?
the king,
He was,
Who said king?
king,
King of rock and roll.
king of rock and roll.
King of rock and
I
roll.
loved
he
him.
was a giver, he's always giving stuff away to people.
Oh, okay. Probably a lot of people didn't know that.
Yeah, he did. Gave cars, all kinds of stuff.
He was pretty religious too.
He was.
Okay.
Where do you think he learned how to sing?
Cheryl?
Elvis the
In a black
pelvis.
church.
Huh?
Elvis the pelvis.
Elvis the pelvis, that's what comes to mind. We get labels on people, don't we? What about this one? Neil Armstrong,
Moon.
astronaut. Walked on the moon. Got labels. Ludwig Beethoven, anything come to mind?
Deaf.
Huh?
Deaf.
Yeah.
Requiem.
What is that? Dead.
Music.
Music comes to mind. Piano player comes to my mind.
Symphonies.
Orchestra leader. Yeah, got labels. What comes to mind with this one? Lee Harvey Oswald.
Assassin.
Huh?
Set up.
So I need hands because I got too many people there. David?
Kennedy.
Kennedy?
That's what I was gonna say.
Sucker.
Assassin.
Assassin. Yeah. Joe?
I disagree.
Huh?
I don't think he was an assassin. I think he was set up.
That's next week's lesson. Just come back next week. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. But we do get labels, right? On people. What kind of label you put on this one? Raise your hand.
Can you say it?
Jan puts a
He's
label on it. It's
crazy.
called B-O-O-O-O-O. Boo.
Crazy.
Control freak.
Control freak is a good one.
That's a good one.
Jan?
Tom Landry.
Tom Landry. An opposite.
Crazy.
Crazy. Isn't it funny how we got different labels on different people?
Egotistical.
Micromanagement.
Huh?
Egotistical.
Egotistical.
That's right.
Good
Don't
one.
make me have to say big words like that.
Good one, Ed.
I get tongue tied. But you're right.
Micromanager.
Huh?
Micromanager.
Yeah, micromanager. That's for sure. What about Michael Jackson? What comes to mind?
Thriller.
Huh?
Thriller.
Yeah, Thriller.
Moonwalk.
Moonwalk, yeah. You know what comes to my mind on Michael
What?
Jackson now? My grandson, great grandson. He's a big fan. How old is Jacob now? 8?
8.
And he's a big fan of Michael Jackson. He's 8 years old. We don't know where it came from. His mom and dad, for his
YouTube.
birthday, they flew up to Las Vegas, took him to a show where the Michael Jackson impersonators were, took him to all the stuff on there and brought him back the next day. An 8-year-old with Michael Jackson. So when I see Michael Jackson, I think about my 8-year-old great grandson.
That's great.
Joe, this gotta be good.
Child abuser.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You see that?
Sadly.
You get a good label and you get a bad label on people too.
Sandra had one.
Huh?
Didn't you have your hand up?
Yeah, moonwalk.
Oh, moonwalk.
Yeah, Moonwalk's a good one. Gary?
Propofol.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Patrick Mahomes. What comes to mind?
Oh.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Hands.
Choose his tongue.
He's what?
He's all, back especially in the old days, he would chew his tongue when he's
Oh, he
playing.
chews on that little rubber thing in his
Yeah, probably. It
mouth.
looks like he's chewing his tongue.
It's his mouthpiece. He chews.
Mouthpiece.
Yeah, Joe?
Who's that?
Oh.
Oh, that's a label he puts on. Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
He can sure talk fast.
Yeah.
He's a family man, for sure.
Yeah, he is a family man. Sandra?
Biggest one is Whataburger.
Yeah,
He has to have his Whataburgers.
yeah. What comes to mind on mine is rich. Rich sports
Young
person.
person, rich.
Christian.
Christian, yeah,
Prays
Christian.
every game.
He does it, he didn't have
Yeah.
to. too.
Yeah. Okay. Ronald Reagan, that's the last one on this group. What comes to your mind?
Best president.
Yeah. Comes to my mind is bring him back.
He was a movie star.
Huh?
He was a movie star.
Movie star. President, movie star. Any other labels you have on Ronald Reagan? He was what?
Monkey lover.
A monkey lover.
Rookie lover.
Monkey.
Monkey. I
He
didn't know
starred in the monkey movies.
that. Yeah. Y'all ready for group 2?
Yeah.
We're gonna get a little closer to home. Watch out.
Uh-oh.
Charlie Jones. Some of you know Charlie Jones, some of you don't. He combined checks on our class. Gary,
Teacher.
That's what I was gonna say.
what did he say?
Teacher.
Teacher? Anybody else?
Greets everybody.
Greets everybody. He always smiling. He's always happy. Yeah. Good label to have on him. Jana Howerton, not Josh, but his wife, Jana.
Sweet as pie.
I can't hear it.
She's sweet as pie.
Sweet as pie. Yeah.
Very caring.
She's cute. She's lovable. She's likable. It's just amazing to see her.
Redheaded.
She's an influencer.
Influencer in what way?
She influences him.
Good or bad?
Good.
Okay, that's what I want to hear. I wanted to make sure I knew where you were going, Joe. Anybody else on Jana? Okay. What about Steve Hunter?
Great guy.
Fabulous.
Whoa, wow.
Good.
Yeah, got a lot of labels, doesn't he? He's a good guy.
Good guy.
Guess whose name's coming up next? Are y'all ready? Some of you are saying, oh, not mine, not mine. How about Willie?
Daddy.
What?
Daddy.
That's the best label we've had all day. Yes.
Hugger.
Huh?
Hugger.
Yeah.
I always
Jan?
hug from it.
He used to walk around the house naked.
Jan,
Really?
you said,
I always call him
you
before
said
he go over.
used to.
Used to, I don't know about now.
Okay. Joe?
Responsible for water.
That's right. Yeah, okay, relating to Zambia. See, I relate, one of the labels on Willie is his love for the children in Zambia. That's a label that would stick with me on that, yeah.
He's a very caring person.
A caring person. Did you hear that, Wanda? Write that down.
He knows he is.
Okay, now, before I go bring this next name up, and everybody's getting itches at me, I've already talked to the people before I call the names. If I didn't talk to you, I would not call your name in this class. I want everybody to understand that. Okay? How about Sandra?
Fun person. Positive. Always positive.
Always positive, okay?
The best therapist you'd ever want.
Best okay? That's the truth. It's a label.
That's true.
Hard
Gary.
worker.
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay. Did she tell you to say that? Jan.
Adventurous.
Huh?
Adventurous.
Adventurous is good. Wanda?
Wonderful friend.
Wonderful friend. Yeah.
She's a hard worker.
Okay, hard work. Who said that? You? I think that's the one that I would have had. Really a hard worker.
For everybody, anybody.
Never stops.
Yeah. Yeah.
Caring. Caring.
Caring? Yeah, she is. How about this one?
Oh dear.
Hudson Howerton. Everybody know who that is?
Yeah,
Little boy.
he's a man.
Son.
That's his son. He got two. Josh has got two sons and two girls and one boy. Okay, give me your label. Somebody raise a hand so I can hear.
Character.
Character.
Spoiled.
Spoiled.
Rambunctious. I mean,
He tries to embarrass Josh every once in a while.
I bet he can.
I don't know him, but from what they're saying, he's a preacher's kid.
Well, that's typical of the other preacher kids. That's always because they had to go to church too much. Yeah, that was always, okay.
He used to be a loner.
Yeah. I think you can see how people get tagged with labels. Now, some are good and some are not so good. So if we want others to place good labels on us, then we need to live that way. That's how you get good labels. I know that there are some people that would say, I don't care what others think about me. Anybody know anybody like that? Yeah, you'll bump into them sometimes. They don't care.
I don't believe
How
that.
can you do that?
I don't
So
either.
what? Huh?
What Sandra said, I don't believe that either.
I don't believe people don't care what people think.
Yeah, but they'll say that.
They do. I have friends that say that,
Yeah.
but I still don't believe them.
Yeah.
Deep in their heart, you know.
Yeah, I think they care.
But more important is, how does God know us? It's not so important what others think about it or labels they put on us. What labels does God put on us? What kind of labels would God put on you? Again, we will be known by our God and known by others by the way we live our lives. And I think we saw examples of that with all these names we brought up. So that's the purpose of the church's lesson. And I don't know how they expect it to be 45 minutes long and all this. I looked at the materials. But we got the gist of it, is living your life so that people will know you the way you want them to know you, and in a good way. Okay, that was the total lesson that was supposed to be taught today. So now I want to continue on with our lesson, the words of Jesus. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm loving this because we're hearing, if Jesus says it, it's got to be true. But how many times does what Jesus say is words that God said to Moses in the Old Testament? He repeats a lot of it. And Jesus will say, well, you've heard it said of old this. That's where God told Moses. And Jesus repeats it. Then he adds to it. But I say, go further with it. So that's what's been going on as he's preaching before these crowds of people. You have heard it said, that it had been said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, that you resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. People have different views of this statement, made first by God and then quoted again in Matthew by Jesus. So we're hearing it from God, we're hearing from Jesus. Now, I want to share one man's opinion about this statement, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. I wonder who that man might be. How about Elon Musk?
With the principles that Jesus advocated, you know, there's great wisdom in the teachings of Jesus, and I agree with those teachings. And things like turn the other cheek are very important, because as opposed to an eye for an eye for an eye leads everyone blind.
An eye for an eye leads someone blind. I said people have different views of this scripture. There's his view of that. And I remember seeing that several weeks ago, and it stuck in my mind. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Jesus is quoting from Exodus 21. Now this is how it reads in Exodus 21. Start with verse 23. Thou shalt give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. Then there are similar words to this were found also in Leviticus, where it said breach for breach, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, as he hath caused a blemish in a man, so it shall be done to him again. And he that kills a beast, he shall restore it. And he that kills a man, he shall be put to death. There's where you get capital punishment. Words of our Heavenly Father. This verse is one of those verses that many people interpret incorrectly, and then they apply it incorrectly. Let's make sure that we understand God's application for this verse. You may learn something new today. The idea behind this was to ensure that punishment for an offense was proportionate to the crime committed. It was meant to limit retribution and prevent excessive punishment. Instead of escalating violence, it was about ensuring justice was fair and equal. Does that make sense now? What he's talking about? God, the Father, talking to Moses about the laws and how to rule the people. And at that time, Moses was the only judge. Now later on, they got so many they had to have more judges. But he said, this is the way you judge people. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Make the punishment proportionate to the crime that was committed. But Jesus took it a step further, like he always does, when he said, but I say unto you that you resist not evil, but whoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn to him also the other cheek. Now, wait just a minute. First it's an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Now it's turn the other cheek. Which is it? Turn the other cheek. This verse has been interpreted in various ways, but the core message is about responding to wrongs with grace and patience, promoting peace and understanding over conflict and revenge. It's a call to rise above our natural instincts, which is to get revenge, and show compassion even in the face of wrongdoings. So now we've seen the meaning behind both. So now let me separate the two for you. On the eye for an eye, tooth for tooth, here Jesus was talking about criminal justice. God was talking about criminal justice, not personal one-on-one. He's talking about in the courts of law. Does that make sense? Didn't mean you poke somebody's eye out. Now turn the other cheek. Now he's talking not about the courts, but he's talking about personal conflict. And he says whether physical or verbal between two individuals. And I added this, where possible, show restraint, love, and compassion. There may be times you can't. But you see how we separate the two? An eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth is talking about in the courts. Turn the other cheek is talking about the personal relations on that. But people like Elon Musk, he thought eye for an eye. Well, I don't agree with that because he did not understand. If he would come to my class, he would understand when he left here.
Well,
Joe?
Jesus is talking about being an example of forgiveness.
Yeah, sure. But you see why I used the thing about Elon Musk? It just showed you real quick how people misinterpret Scripture. They say, oh, no, well, Elon, come to class and you'll learn. Now, how many knew the separation of these two before you came to class this morning? Raise your hand. Guess what? I didn't raise my hand either. I learned it as I built the lesson. I was thinking, oh man, how am I going to explain this? And I had to research it when you get the information. Now it makes sense. God was talking to Moses about being the judge over the Israelite people on this eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Any comments on that? You like that? That's new? That was good? Turning the other cheek can be accomplished by just walking away. That's turning the other cheek. Doesn't mean you're in a fight and he hits you, then you say, no, hit me on the other side. Doesn't mean that. It's not talking about that. Just walk away and not pursuing retribution or revenge. And sometimes that's very difficult to do. You want to just say the word back. They said an ugly word to you, you just want to say an ugly word back. And it's, Jesus, turn the other cheek. In other words, just walk away. Don't do it. Jesus added one more statement concerning what we just read. He said, if anybody wants to sue you and take your shirt, hand over your coat as well. If anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with them 2 miles. And then he said, give to the one who asks you, and do not turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you. Basically, he's talking about kindness. Now, I want you to look at verse 41 up there. Anybody know where that came from? Did you know that in the time of Jesus, the Israelites were governed by who? The Romans. The Romans had a law. And the law was, if a Roman asked an Israelite, carry my armor, the shield, the breastplate, all that stuff, he was required to carry it 1 mile. And Jesus says, carry it 2 miles. Whoa. Go the extra mile. Now you know, you ever heard that phrase? The extra mile, go the extra mile. Comes out of the Bible. How many knew that? Willie did, Cheryl did, good for you. 2 of them. So it's worth coming to class today. Yeah, go the extra mile. I didn't know that before I prepared the lesson either, Willie and Cheryl. But yeah, go the extra mile. But the Romans, they would take that off and then you have to carry it 1 mile. In these 3 verses, Jesus is talking about radical generosity and non-retaliation. That's not always the easiest thing to do, is it? When somebody hurts us physically or verbally, it's hard to walk away. It's hard to turn the other cheek. He's saying go above and beyond. If sued for your shirt, offer your coat as well. Exceed expectations. If compelled to go 1 mile, be willing to go 2. Be generous. Give to those who ask and lend to those who want to borrow. That's what Jesus is saying. These teachings challenge conventional thinking. They encourage responding to wrongdoing with kindness and generosity with selflessness.
I just got fired and I'm no one to talk to. Can I talk to you for like a minute? What's your name? I'm Zachary. Nice to meet you. I worked at a pizza delivery job. Any advice you give to me?
Keep going. Don't let that stop you.
What keeps you going?
My kids.
So what's your message to maybe someone who's like lost?
You're not lost. You haven't found yourself yet.
And actually, Tyler, I wanted to give you my last pizza because you were here to talk to me.
Okay.
There's no pizza in there though.
I felt it.
There's something else in there though.
Oh God.
There's $500 in there for you.
Thank you. I lost someone I love very much. I lost my partner. He died in that car accident. I built my whole world around him.
Are you homeless now?
Yeah. When he's really young.
He will put somebody in front of you. I think I got something. I'm going to stop and show you. I'll do it in just a minute. In this next video, I got one more like that. You most not likely will not hear all the words. There's a lot of background noise. And you won't. But you can just see the actions, and it's very similar to this one. I wanted you to see one more.
How you doing? Food, alcohol, and money. 3 options, 1 choice. You don't have anyone that you can talk to?
No, it's pretty lonely.
At first, she just hesitated. Him
Talk to me a little bit.
watch.
It would be nice just to feel like I exist. I honestly never thought I'd be in this position, not ever. No one really stops to see if I'm okay or...
I'm actually here for you. keep this money, maybe get a room for yourself tonight.
Now look who's leading the hugging. See how it turned? Pretty amazing. Radical generosity. What is it that God wants you to do? He'll put somebody in front of you. Got about 10 minutes. I'm gonna do something I didn't plan to do. Take this off for a minute. See if I saved it. This is my daughter's house in Ohio. He said, I'm sorry I don't have a delivery for you. But I hadn't eaten in a couple of days. My daughter set this up on the front porch, a little stand with all the snacks in it. And they've got a camera back. And she's done this for several years. It's for delivery people. Take what you want. This guy walked up. He said, I don't have a delivery for you today. That means he was there earlier and he saw the snacks. But he also said, I hadn't eaten much in the last couple of days. He's got to be really embarrassed.
Well, we can't see anything up there.
Huh?
It's blank.
No signal.
Dang it.
They kept saying it'll be there in a minute.
Satan doesn't like what I'm teaching today. Can you check this? I'm afraid I'm going to trip over a card. See if that's come loose on there. Yeah. There we go.
You did that as good as Steve. You did that as good as Steve could do.
I used to work in it. I almost forgot everything I knew about it.
Did you get the gist of what happened? She sent me that video that she said her husband grabbed a bunch of food and ran after the guy and carried him a bunch of food. She said he came back, had tears in his eyes. I told my daughter, you can't help everybody in the world, but you can certainly help the ones that God puts right in front of you. And that's what she did. And the same message is for all of us in this room. You can't help everybody. You can't save all the people from their houses burning in California. You can't help those that had the disaster in the Carolinas from the hurricanes and the stuff over there. You can't help everybody. God doesn't intend for you to. Radical generosity. Just help the ones that God puts in front of you. And with these words, God's going to do that to every one of us, including me, somewhere this week between now and next Sunday. Help the ones that God puts right in front of you. And we're gonna close it, I think, with that. Yeah, next Sunday, love your enemies. Jan, don't you say a word. That's part of my lesson next week. You know where I'm going. Some of the others do too.
How can you forget that? That's been, what, 25 years ago?
25 years. Okay, we're going to tell it anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
We were doing this class, and we must have had 40 people in the room in those days. Jan's husband, Rex, was in the room, sitting beside her. Rex doesn't ever talk.
I need to give a background.
Go ahead.
Okay, we had wonderful neighbors next door. We loved them dearly. They sold their house to this guy and his wife. And when we were introduced to them, this guy says to Rex, and all you that know him will know his hackles went up. This guy says, I'm going to do you a favor. And Rex said, what's that? He said, I'm going to put a fence across your property. And Rex said, why? He said, well, you don't want your dog to get out you know, by jumping you're up here and there, blah, blah, blah. Well, that was the end of that relationship. Go ahead.
But in the class, we were teaching the scriptures about love your enemies, and Rex, who never says anything in class, just shouted out loud, "I hate mine." Actually, it was love your neighbor.
It was love your neighbors.
Love your neighbor.
And he said, "I'm not loving my neighbors."
And here she elbowed him like that and said, "Well, it's true." And that's happened, about 25 years ago.
You know, and let me tell you this too, this is funny. This guy's name was David, and it was like he watched our house. Every time I went outside to do anything, here comes David. Well, he always wanted to bring Rex up. You know, I don't know why Rex don't like me, because Rex just ignored him if he went out there. So one day, I got tired of it. I went in the house and I told Rex, "I'm tired of David confronting me about you. So I told David that you've got Alzheimer's and that you are violent and he needs to stay away from you." And Rex said, "You did not say that." I said, "Yes, I did. I didn't really." From then on, Rex spoke to David. If he said
You know,
it was funny.
I have to tell you,
Sound like something sad.
of all of the men that I wish I had known, it's Rex.
Yeah. Okay, it's been a good day today, hadn't it? We've had a lot of